Hello and welcome, Pisces. Alright, so Pisces, keep in mind these are general readings, so not everything may resonate with your situation, and that's okay. Just take what does and leave the rest. So make sure that's okay. That is one card. Alright, let's see what is going on for my fellow Pisces out there. Okay, we're taking that one apparently. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. So my little fishies, y'all are swimming through some pretty tough territory, apparently. Yeah, I can vouch for that. I'm definitely kind of feeling that. We have the King of Cups here. We have the Queen of Cups. Okay, Ten of Pentacles, and then we have that Death card. Okay. I do feel like for a lot of you, this is talking about a relationship. This is talking about a relationship that has just kind of been pretty difficult. Definitely kind of going through some trials and tribulations. I get not being fully honest with emotions or feelings, or somebody trying to hide their emotions and feelings. So maybe that's why it's coming across again as, not being honest. But with the Queen of Cups, I do feel like there's feelings here on both sides. I do feel like with the Ten of Pentacles, this is talking about, kind of building that, that security, that stability, having that strength for sure. And I keep getting contentment. For a lot of you, this could be talking about a family. This could be talking about seeing a future with this person. With the Death card, I do feel like we are needing to put the past in the past. Like I said, I kept getting like some kind of like trials and tribulations. So maybe this is like a reconnection. Somebody's reached out to you, you're trying to reconnect or something along this line. I just feel like there's a relationship here that has not been easy. And it's mostly due to not being honest about feelings or trying to hide feelings. But I do feel like, we're putting things in the past, and I also feel like we're putting things to rest. I don't feel like the relationship is ending, although I'll get into it, don't worry. But I do feel like we are going towards a new beginning. But this almost does feel like a reconciliation, like somebody, like I said, kind of reached out from the past or, vice versa. But it does feel like, like we've been here before though. All right, clarifying the King of Cups, we have the Magician card, we have the Eight of Wands, and we have the Two of Cups. Wow. Okay, so like I said, definitely a lot of feelings here, a strong connection between the two of you. I do feel like somebody's kind of manifested this back, has, kind of put forth effort into sending out communication. But again, I still kind of feel like we're hiding some feelings. I feel like we have this strong connection, and it's almost kind of like we're trying to ignore it or kind of deny it. Maybe we're trying to take things slow. Maybe that's what, this is coming across as, but it's more coming across to me as hiding feelings. It could be because I don't want to show you that I'm being vulnerable in this relationship. I don't, for some of you, this is just kind of talking, flirting, kind of starting things, I should say restarting things. For some of you, this could be starting things. So for some of you, because I do get that this could be a new person, for some of you, this is a reconciliation. Like I said, to reconnect someone from the past. But for others of you, okay, that does make sense now, because I kept kind of getting like two. And so, okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, is this a third party? No. Okay, so for others of you, this is a new person that you are dealing with. And there's still, like I said, I keep getting kind of taking things slow, but we're definitely recognizing there's a connection here. I do keep getting, communication. I get like possibly a lot of flirtation. Are you wanting to flirt with this person? Like something like that here. But yeah, I do get, again, I still kind of get like concealing feelings, hiding feelings, like somebody's not ready to quite open up yet, or somebody didn't know that they would be feeling the way they are. It's like, okay. But I mean, who doesn't love the Pisces? Hello. All right, Queen of Cups. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Four of Cups. Okay, like I said, trying to ignore some kind of difficult conversation. And it could be because, again, we're having to put ourselves out there. We're having to kind of show our vulnerabilities. We're taking a chance on, putting our heart out there, wearing our heart on our sleeve. So again, I do feel like that's kind of what's going on too. I do feel like boundaries are needing to be set in this connection. If this is a reconnect, I kind of feel like you're setting up boundaries. I kind of feel like you're You're like, okay, I know my self-worth. I have self-love. You know, I'm setting up boundaries for myself. Like, I'm going to cut out the minute I think anything's wrong, or the minute I think, you know, you're going back to old ways or anything like that. You're gone. Like, I'm cutting this out. You're not going to ignore red flags. You're not going to ignore signs anymore. You know, and again, I keep getting like, you're not going to be chasing. So I don't know if in the past, if you always had to reach out to this person first. I don't know if, you know, you always had to, because it is coming across as kind of being one-sided. So again, I keep getting it coming across as, because it was one-sided, you're kind of like, I'm not doing that again. You know, I know my self-worth. I'm not chasing. I'm not going to constantly reach out. If you choose not to reach out, nobody is that busy. So that just shows me how much of a priority I am to you. And that's something I'm not going to ignore. Now, for others of you dealing with a new person, again, I do feel like there's feelings developing. However, I just feel like, again, we're not talking about them just yet. And this could be, you know, again, due to fear. This could be just kind of like, you know, feeling each other out, kind of seeing if we're on the same page, things like that. And again, it does kind of feel like you're just kind of looking for some red flags, or you're just kind of seeing like, you know, how's this person? I feel like you kind of know that this person likes you, but for some reason, there's almost like a delay or something. Okay, so I'm trying to keep both things that are coming through to me separate, so that way it's not so, okay, and this is a lot. This is a whole reading in itself here, Pisces. Okay, so we do have the Ten of Swords. We have the Justice card. We have the Emperor, Page of Swords, Ace of Swords, and King of Coins. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing two of you butt heads. Ten of Pentacles fighting for, I keep getting equality. I keep getting happiness. I keep getting, again, security, stability. I keep getting you putting up more of a fight. So Pisces, I don't know if you were kind of, you know, excuse the term, if you were just kind of like a pushover, you know, the first go round for those of you who are dealing with the reconnect, you know, again, I don't know if it was just so one-sided. You were kind of like the pushover, kind of trying to appease this person, but it's like, it's not happening this time. You know, I feel like you, again, you both being on the same level is what I keep getting. So it's like things have balanced out. I do feel like this person does kind of want to fix things. You know, of course, that's why they're here. You know, especially after an ending, it's like, I want to fix this. Can we get another chance? And I do feel like this person has kind of, I keep getting age difference for one, was possibly very immature the first time around, didn't know what they want. I keep getting, commitment issues first time around as well. But I keep getting a very strong soul contract between the two of you. Like, this person is here for a reason, and there's some unfinished business between you guys. With the Ace of Swords, I do feel clarity. I do feel honest, open communication as well. These two kings, are pretty similar. I also get that, Pisces, you're kind of showing up as being very strategic. Like, you're not going to back down for one, but you're showing up as being very, very like stable, very solid, very much like, you know, I can hold my own. So I'm not needing you to do everything this time around, or not that they're not doing everything, but it's more like, I'm not going to bend over backwards. I'm not going to be the pushover this time around. This person also, like I said, I keep getting more of the person from the past coming through the strongest. And it does kind of feel like maybe they've been watching your social media. So it kind of feels like maybe you're active on social media, or you guys have mutual friends, something like that. But it kind of feels like they've been able to kind of keep tabs. Like, they know kind of what's going on in your life. I don't know why a family situation keeps coming through. Maybe they're friends with a family member, or they, you know, were just really close to your family. But I feel like, you know, this person and you have always still kind of, in a way, like maybe there was no communication or anything, but you always still kind of stayed connected. And like I said, it just kind of feels like either you have, you know, mutual friends, or again, you know, family situation, something like that. But again, you guys are showing up like head to head, level playing field, you know, and again, I just keep getting like, Pisces, like you're standing your ground. Okay, 7 of Coins, clarifying the Death card. Yeah, see, and it almost kind of feels like as soon as that card came out, you're like, I knew this person was going to come back anyways. I knew this situation wasn't done. The Lovers card. For some of you, like I said, this could be a twin flame relationship. Some kind of very strong soul connection here with this person here, Pisces. But definitely, like I said, a reconnect here. The Star card, so healing, wanting to fix things between the two of you. Bottom of the deck, King of Wands, Six of Swords. Yeah, it kind of feels like we're getting past some emotional hurt, some emotional pain. I keep getting past some like non-committal issues. Like I said, it just kind of feels in the past it was very one-sided. Mostly you carrying the brunt of this. You kind of going through, like I said, a hard time, not wanting to give up, but also knowing that the situation needs to change. Something needs to change. And it feels like it needed to start within you by you, kind of saying, okay, I love myself too much to allow this to happen. I'm not going to be a pushover. I love you. I respect you, but I demand that in return. Not necessarily demand, wrong word, but I expect that in return. I want that in return. I'm owed that in return because I do that for you. So this needs to be mutual. Again, I keep getting like you're showing up on the same playing field, level playing field. Like I said, I do feel like there's a lot of healing that's taking place. I also feel like, again, this is someone that you wanted to work things out with, or someone, again, Pisces, I keep getting like you just kind of felt like this situation was not over. So I don't know if this is because it's not your first go round with this person, or because I keep getting, like I said, a twin flame relationship, and we all know that connection sometimes is like, like a roller coaster ride. You know what I mean? It's got its good times. It's got its bad times. It's got its healing times. It's got all the times in between. But again, it's kind of showing up as, it needed some time. It needed some time to kind of figure some things out. The relationship, them, all of you, everything needed some time. Healing needed to take place. But like I said, it was always kind of felt like the two of you were meant to kind of just come back together. And this could be because, more healing needs to take place. Or again, this could just be because we need to open up communication. Like something's not over. Like I said, it still feels like there's some unfinished business here. So again, that's kind of how that's coming out to me. All right, Pisces, let's go ahead and and then for those of you, hold on, dealing with a new person, like I said, I do feel like, your past still has something to play in this. And this could be just, again, wanting to move towards something new, something different. I do feel like you are going towards a soul connection. I do feel like this person is kind of on the same page as you. But again, I feel like you're just kind of taking your time. For some of you, you met this person on social media, or, again, a friend of a friend. I keep getting a friend of a sibling. So it's like, okay, that's how the two of you met. But, there's something a little more there. You notice you're kind of flirting with this person, or vice versa. This person, instead of, going through your brother or your sister, whatever, it just feels like they're contacting you, like the two of you are laughing and, things like that. I keep getting that for somebody. But yeah, so again, I do feel like there's definitely a connection here that you are going towards. I just feel like you're wanting to take your time. And even if this is, like I said, a reconnect, dealing with someone from your past, same thing applies. You want to take your time. Like I said, you're definitely kind of making sure that change is taking place, because you're dead set on this is not going to be the way it was before. 100% completely agree, Pisces. High five. High five, pat on the back. Yeah, you got it. All right, Pisces, let's get some oracle cards for you. Give me something good for Pisces. What are my little fishies swimming towards? So we do have that fear. We also have release. So release it. We have the unexpected. So again, for some of you, it is kind of a shock, even though it always kind of felt like this person was going to be back, because there's some unfinished business between the two of you. And again, I feel like a lot of you have kind of woken up to know that this is a twin flame relationship. So it's kind of like you knew it wasn't completely over. But it's still kind of like a shocker. It's still kind of unexpected that this person is back in your life and you're kind of starting over. With fear and release here. This is saying, again, change those things. That fear that you're holding on to, release it. Those boundaries that you didn't set before, it's time to set now. Don't trap yourself, Pisces. Don't feel like you're caged. Don't feel like you don't have a choice, because you do. Release what needs to be released. Release what needs to help you grow. Whatever that is, make those changes. See those butterflies? I'm really being called and pulled towards those butterflies here. And the moon, trust your intuition. Change what needs to be changed. I keep getting refocus. All right, Pisces. some more oracle here for Pisces. Okay, we have offer and we have pause. Bottom of the deck, like I said, we have abandon and we have summer. So it could be this summer that this person came back, or I do feel like it is this summer that this person came back because we're still in summertime. With abandon, again, I do feel like previously this person could have triggered some abandonment issues or vice versa, or this person has abandonment issues. You know, definitely take it how it's resonating, but I do feel like that is a factor here in this, and that's why there's that kind of non-committal issue that keeps coming through as well. I keep almost kind of getting like a runner-chaser syndrome. And like I said, I feel like that's what's the main thing that's going to be changing this time around is like nobody's chasing anybody. Either you're here and you're for it, or, you know, there's the door. You know, you can go do some more healing until we're back on the same page, and then I'll think about it, you know. And that's kind of how it's coming across. And I like that attitude, Pisces. You're sticking up for yourself. With offer, like I said, I do feel like this person has come back in with some kind of offer, some kind of communication. With pause being here, this could be, I keep getting a number of things kind of showing me pause, as in there was a pause between the two of you, so it never was really over. And I feel like you kind of felt that. You know, you definitely felt that in your, you know, intuitively that it wasn't over. There's some unfinished business here. But this is also kind of telling me that you're really kind of just looking at things differently. Things are on pause. You're not trying to rush through this or, you know, move this forward or fall head over heels in love. It's kind of like you're protecting and guarding your heart, your emotions, and you're not allowing yourself to be you know, to be used or for it to kind of go back to, like I said, being one-sided or anything like that. You're taking things at a different pace, and you're, you know, again, just kind of looking at things from a different perspective. All right. Okay, we have a couple here. We have love bound. Okay, we have 3. Okay, let me show you the bottom 2 because that feels really relevant. So before I get to those, structured foundation. That's what I feel like you're in search of. That's what I feel like you're trying to build, or you were trying to build before with this person, but they weren't in it yet. Committal issues, abandonment issues, things like that. But I do feel like you are love bound, Pisces. But I feel the reason stuck at a crossroads right now is because you're taking things slow. Like I said, I feel like you're noticing kind of red flags, and you're going to make sure change is happening before you move forward, before you put your heart back on the line. You're not just jumping in head over heels, going, you know, with your heart first. And, you know, you're being more cautious. And that's why I feel you're not necessarily stuck. You're just being cautious. But I do feel, you know, on each side we have love bound and we have beautiful new beginnings. So I do feel like there is a beautiful new beginning here for you, Pisces. Again, we're just, you know, we're being cautious. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light. Okay, we actually have a few here. Self-indulgence. I got to show you this one. Focus on self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, and self-appreciation. Very important, Pisces. Okay. So we have dragonfly. So be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, and heal. So again, beautiful. Then we have karmic relationships. So fleeting, triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. So this could be a number of things. You know, again, for some of you, like I said, you may choose that you don't want this relationship. You know, I keep picking up twin flame, but of course that's not going to resonate for everybody. For some of you, this could be a karmic, and that's why there's so many triggers. That's why there's so many things that still need to kind of heal from. That's why it kind of feels like there's a lot of trial and tribulations and, you know, healing and, you know, things like that. Because this person is meant to kind of trigger you, to kind of show you. And it's about finding that inner strength to kind of let go and start loving you, Pisces. For others of you, I kind of feel like, you know, again, this definitely has some karma, like you have to learn something here. But like I said, it kind of feels like it can go either way. But I keep picking up on twin flame relationships like the hardest. Those are kind of coming through like pretty strongly. Now with Cupid's arrow, we have faith. Love is coming. Surprise invitation or meeting and hesitation. So Like I said, you are love bound. There is beautiful new beginnings here, Pisces. Of course, it's going to unfold differently for everybody. This is a general reading, but I do feel, again, stay the course. Of course, it's free will, completely up to you what you choose to do about your situation. You know your situation, and definitely use your discernment at the end of the day because you know what's best for you and what you want. So, all right, my beautiful Pisces, that is what I have for you this week. So thank you so very much for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. You're absolutely amazing and beautiful. Please take care and have a great rest of your week.